Market currently trade a narrow range bar, close almost flat at 3178. Now this happens after this wide range reversal bounce. If you notice, actually this gap provides some kind of supports, and this actually shows that the selling is actually drawing up. This support is very crucial. This coincides with this gap support here, and that is at about 3170. So that is immediate support. Resistance is at this level here at about 3210. Now by and large, after this downward move, market is actually trading sideways, so it's actually quite choppy with a very big swing. So again, it's actually indications of lack of directions. So we just have to be more careful. Now let's take a look at the US. Now S&P 500 actually broke this resistance. It's approaching this next resistance level, which is at 4325, and it's perfectly normal for it to pull back at this level. Nasdaq is much stronger, as mentioned previously. Now after a very nice build up here, you break on the upside and it's approaching this resistance level, and this is at about 13,181. Again, you notice we have a pullback here. Next week itself, we have the Fed policy meeting, so market like to be more jittery until directions is clear. So there's expectations that actually there could be a pause, but of course if this expectation did not materialize, then we see a strong upward move in the yield, 10-year treasury yield. So right now actually 10-year treasury is consolidating. You can see this is the daily charts, and we do not know whether you break on the upside. This is the weekly charts. So again, it's pretty obvious. You have been actually stuck in a trading range, and this is the crisscrossing of the 10-13 week SMA. So again, we are looking for catalysts, and this pullback appeared to be an indication of strength, so it may well break on the upside. Let's take a look at our Singapore stocks. Now there are very few stocks that is actually directional. Sembcorp Industry is one of them. We have very nice break over here. Notice the two wide range bars, and here very obvious is indication of weakness, and we expect pullback, and this is what we have seen. So far the pullback is actually healthy, it's shallow. Look, the body is actually small. At this point in time, we have a big deeper setup. 2-bar comeback high here is at 538. Notice actually the daylight is still fairly big, so if you can continue to trade in this manner with small range, it'll be better, because any break on the upsides is more likely to follow through, because the stock is at this point in time quite overextended. SIA, again very strong upward move. This is a temporary pause, and today managed to actually move out again. The volume is not very high, so you notice actually at this point in time the daylight has been increasing, so you have this position, just manage closely. Keppel Co was a stock we actually discussed for quite some time and mentioned in earlier video. With this break itself, the bet is off. We appear to be holding quite well, though it's trading below the 1326 SMA. So this may well be a consolidation, and they would like to see what happens, but you need patience because it may take some time before eventually take out this high here. This is a resistance at 657. Food Empire, one of the earlier leaders, unfortunately it comes to selling, and this is very crucial because what we see right now is actually a weak bound, and breaking this support here will be very damaging. This low here is at 945, so we'd like to actually watch whether this can hold. Now breaking these lows will be very negative because currently they are trading below the 1326 SMA. This is dynamic. Again, with this severe sell down, it is now trading below the 1326 SMA. We'd like to actually observe what happened. This may well be a distribution pattern. Again, breaking these supports will be generally negative. And this low here, it's at 285. Delphi, Again, these are very strong stocks that succumbs to selling. And here is holding at the supports. 1326 are not quite in order, so again we'd like to observe what happened. If it rolled down, we can identify setups to short. Another strong stocks which have succumbed to selling, this is Tianjin. We have very random kind of distribution patterns, very untidy, and here we experience a first throwback. This throwback itself is not that strong. You notice they are just clustered together, but again it is still too early to initiate shorts. We'd like to observe what happens going forward. Tech stocks, AEM. After the run up, we see this sideways move. Again, if you can consolidate just below the resistance level, that will be very positive. Immediate resistance is this pivot high here, which is at 372. Now, other than that, most of the tech stocks are not quite tradable, despite the fact that actually Nasdaq is showing strength. This is Franken. Notice it was actually trending downwards, and here we see a counter trend. All right, followed by pullback. Now, this counter trend may not finish yet, so we'd like to actually observe. Now, usually after a big sell down like this, it may consolidate sideways. UMS, after the run-ups, the momentum fizzled out with this wide range reversal bar. So again, it may be actually stuck in the trading range. Venture appears to be the only one that is actually quite clear in terms of directions. It's actually very bearish. We notice actually we have a break on the downside, and now we have a throwback, and this throwback is actually quite weak. We'd like to see whether it can take out this low here of 1457.